I think this is going to be a really good series, and this is a chance for you to discover how much talent there is in EU and how much talent there is in this 2v2 playlist.
That's right. I'm so excited. You mentioned, too, these guys are teaming up next season. Both teams are. These are players that we're going to see on their 3v3 rosters. And as you said, we are in a different game mode. Sure, we're in 2v2s, but they have this chemistry. We want to see, are they going to be synced up? Are they going to be under control and on the same page as they play in this 2v2 environment? And something else that you alluded to was the mechanics, and that is going to be the thing that I'm looking forward to. It's my favorite thing about 2v2. There's a little more space, and when these players with this mechanical ability are provided with some space, Taco, it is a fun show to watch.
Yeah, it seems like when you do have more space, or rather more space and rather less teammates to be able to cover it, the conventional logic seems like at times that you would slow down. You want to make sure that you're not leaving your teammate into 2v1. But weirdly enough, when you take a player off from standard, it actually speeds up the game almost a lot, or just keeps it at the same level as standard, because these players just throw caution to the wind. The recovery's flawless, so it really just comes down to thinking outside the box, as we see Acronik try the first flip reset, and now there's that 2v1 I talked about. But Atow, he's not worried at all. Look at that. Powers right through it and gets on the counter.
And something we saw from this Liquid team yesterday was just severe and extreme aggression. As an attacking duo, as a defending duo, they are not going to pull back. They are not going to back off. We see Acronik right there follow up Atow's aggressive challenge with a secondary aggressive challenge. And then another one from Atow. They do not want to give space. They do not want to let you get comfortable, grab a possession, bring it down into a comfortable dribble. They want to put you under pressure, and it works flawlessly in the 2v2 game mode. Atow gonna strike first and put Liquid on the board with 3:31 left to play.
I feel bad for Mikeboy. I think they're trying to calculate 4 different possibilities at the same time. They're going up for this. They say, do I drill to the corner? I might take a 50. Do I try to get in the way of the shot? Do I try to predict it? And you almost see them try to get the lightest possible touch at the end, but it's just too slow to be at Atow. And that's going to be an unfortunate goal, but a good, solid opening with a lot of midfield challenges, which is really what you want to see, especially as we start off these offenses. Th0 going to get denied off the backboard, and Mikeboy only going to be able to give that one away. But these downfield passes, these combination plays are going to be the bread and butter, I feel like, for all the teams today.
Definitely. And another thing that we saw with Mikeboy and Th0 yesterday was a couple of mix-ups with kickoffs. They were very willing to introduce a little bit of some unique strategies. Acronik's going to put one on target there. Mikeboy keeps it out for now. Now Th0, a little bit of space to work with. Does accelerate the play, gets a flick. Acronik in position to send it into the corner. On the back of that demo, may put Team Liquid in an awkward position. Th0 attempting to pinch from the sidewall. Kind of slowing down into some midfield back and forth. 2:33 left to play. Th0 goes low and slow. The 50-50 drags it up into the air, brings it down. Acronik not able to put a big enough hitbox on it. Th0 is going to level us up 1-1.
That's one of my favorite plays in 1v1 or 2v2. Or really, it's something you don't see often in threes because you don't often have that amount of time setting up an air dribble, which every pro can do at such a high level. So you have to defend that, and then halfway through, if that offensive player can angle their card just right, those 50s can work so perfectly, because at a certain point, you just are not prepared to be able to dish that pass through. And right there, I don't think, though, Mikeboy were ready for that touch, but Team Liquid wasn't either. I think they saved each other's shot. So unfortunate exchange as the demos starting to be realized as a potential defensive countermeasure to really forestall all this pressure, as Mikeboy takes over one, tries to get past two. He does put it right on the goal line, but Th0 a little bit too far back. Gotta pinch it back in the middle. Acronik, no touch, but no harm either. Still in our blue half, but so far it seems like the attack is done, as Atow is just gonna send one deep, and well met by Th0.
This is an exciting game one. A lot of times we'll see these teams, especially in the lengthier series, like a best of 7, they'll kind of feel each other out in game one, play a little bit more cautious, a little bit more passive. That's not the case today. We're seeing the demos, we're seeing the aerial gameplay, we're seeing the high risk, high reward decision making. And so far, it's been an exciting watch. I think it's going to be a long day full of exciting matches. Th0 going to put one into the corner. Atow will collect. Not enough boost to pursue the play and transition into the midfield. But he will put up a nice challenge. Pinches down to the orange end. Pops one high for Acronik. Th0 will be the first to it. Acronik collects a midfield boost. Grabs possession immediately into an air dribble. things have slowed down for the time being. Acronik. A 1v1 situation. Mikeboy with the flick. Off the crossbar and out for now, though. Still has an opportunity to double touch. The triple touch, though, will reclaim the lead.
Oh no, it took everything out of Acronik to get the first save, and therefore, even with a brilliant recovery going from the inside side wall of the goal, they can't prevent that, but I can't really think of too many who can predict or see coming the triple tap to get in the lead. 43 seconds, and with how strategic and slow this scoring has been in game one, that might be all it takes.
Excuse me, Th0 and Mikeboy had plenty of experience yesterday rocking with a lead. They know how to use this clock. Th0 ahead of the play, looking for the demo. We called it out earlier. Atow is not going to sit back and wait. Going to aggressively challenge. Mikeboy. Shot down into the box. Not on target. Acronik will get an aerial demo. It's going to provide some space for Atow to work with. Over one. Th0 will spawn back. Not the greatest first touch, but Mikeboy will be the first to it. Sends it over to Th0. Th0 pops high. No boost to work with for either. Th0 with a great challenge on the sidewall, and that's going to touch down. Th0 and Mikeboy will take game number one.
Solid performance. Obviously, we've seen the mechanics come through, but we're also seeing the coordination that Atow and Acronik got their goal in this game as well. Finding each other in space just to be able to keep it away from the other team. That does so much. It doesn't revolve around hitting the ball and trying to constantly get boost. Knowing that your teammate is able to follow it up, waste some time, provide that really latency to be able to get you back in the rotation's huge. And you can see that across the shot. Both players on our orange side pretty much even in terms of their contributions, whereas it's really up to Atow to be the genuine striker on blue side.
Absolutely. I think we'll see an increase in risk-taking from Atow and Acronik. That was definitely their MO yesterday. They really just weren't worried about the downsides of situations. And I think it is a high-risk strategy, but when you have the success rate that these two players can have executing the mechanical plays that they're attempting, I think it's a great strategy. And I think after dropping that game one, we'll probably see them turn things around. And instead of allowing Mikeboy and Th0 a little bit of space, instead of allowing them to maybe comfortably have a couple of possessions, a couple of dribbles, I think they're going to be in their face, immediately applying that pressure. Long series. As I said, this is a single elim. All series are best of sevens. Acronik and Atow, plenty of time left to make the necessary adjustments. Th0 and Mikeboy grabbing game one in the series. Let's get game number two underway.
And I think as we turn our attention to Aquadome for game two, I think Team Liquid, I saw a lot of potential out of them. They're definitely bringing their assets to the table with a lot of high-flying plays, a lot of mechanics trying to force out mistakes. But it seems like, Th0 and Mikeboy, the one thing I'm really impressed by is their patience. They're actually a couple times willing to just let Team Liquid kind of spin their wheels or axes or whatever you want to call it around in the air and let them burn out on those attacks, and then they just take advantage of the counterattack. That's how really their second goal got started, and this is the first might happen as well. A lot of space. Atow just able to get it done in time, and he's not even done with this attack. The flip reset gets a little bit away from him, and double commit's going to be just enough.
That's what I was hoping to see. Selfishly, just want to be entertained. I want to see these guys pulling out all the stops, every mechanic in the book. Atow pops past one. A little bit of patience exhibited there, something we don't see too much of from these guys. Acronik with a nice touch. Back to his teammate. Atow, the reset, puts it on target. Snags the corner boost as well. Mikeboy's going to have to work on 0. He does get the corner, but is demoed for his troubles. So, some space, flicks to the sidewall. We'll hold on to possession for now. Acronik moves in to pick it up from the corner. He will demo Mikeboy off the challenge. They have to retreat back to defense. Atow, nice stop. Acronik's going to pick up possession. Only for a moment, though, there for the challenge. I think we're going to see both sides exhibit a little more aggression as this series unfolds. You know, I said that we started in game one a little bit hotter than I may anticipate, but maybe that was just the flavor that these guys play, and we're going to see it turn up even further as the rest of this series unfolds.
Yeah, Team Liquid almost playing it like two 1v1s. They're spacing out very far, but if you really do get a wider view of the field from Th0 and Mikeboy, they tend to stick fairly close to each other. A lot of staggered challenges, and it works until it doesn't. Into the back post. Acronik able to just wrap around it, and a good goal off of a quality 50.
You're right, quality 50, and smart from Atow. Instead of trying to take his time and take the shot himself, he just wants to accelerate that ball towards the net. He knows he has a teammate essentially there as like a bowling lane bumper. He doesn't have to get it directly on target, just get it near the net. His teammate can help him guide it in there. Well done, and they will take the lead here in game number 2. Th0 straight away from kickoff. Looking to put a threatening shot on target. Does land his reset, but immediately gets blocked away by Acronik, who then beats one. Atow, the floater, just out of reach of Th0.
Oh, I love it. The pre-flip, but also it acts so well as a change-up. You can see the desperation. Gotta get back. Gotta make sure you pre-jump, and then not even the delayed flip to try to stall the momentum is going to work out for that one. That's a brutal one. That's, again, coming at the tail end of a rough challenge in the midfield, but that's what happens. You gotta stay close, and you gotta make sure those kickoffs are secure. 1 goal back.
Taco, we saw this quite a bit yesterday with this same team. There was a couple that did well. Braziers and Cassio also had a few great kickoffs as well. Th0 and Mikeboy, it's definitely something that this Liquid squad need to be keen, and they need to keep their eye on, because these guys deploy some very effective kickoff strategies.
And it's something that we don't really think about as much in 3v3, because there is differential methods of approaching the 3v3 kickoff, and it can provide some interesting touches to help set up maybe a solo play or be able to get a cross-field pass. But in 1v1 and 2v2, it really can be the make or break, especially when you tend to cheat up or take some of the high risk as a Spanish kickoff, which we haven't seen, but other times it can be just as simple as rotating a bit too wide for some boost and paying for it.
You said it earlier, these guys are executing so well, just kind of absorbing some pressure, playing patient, waiting for the right moment, and they see a Liquid player maybe rotates too wide or a little bit too slow back to rotate towards the net, and then they easy capitalize, easy punishment. We'll see if Atow and Acronik can find a balance between that aggression and maybe positioning themselves a little bit more cautiously. Atow looking for the bump. Not going to find any contact. Th0 gets his boost stolen in the corner. Atow to keep this alive. Mikeboy provides a challenge. Acronik is up, sends the shot low. Mikeboy will send it into the corner and secure the boost. It's getting a little bit messy on the backside, back and forth. Atow and Acronik providing some serious pressure on offense, putting some shots on target. But I think, again, you said it earlier, where they're just absorbing this pressure. Mikeboy and Th0 doing such a good job defensively, staying organized and coordinated, even on low boost, doing what they need to do, providing a challenge. Their teammate moves in to cover up if they're not able to connect on that challenge. Now Mikeboy looking to transition onto offense. So, one touch, the flick pass one. Acronik's going to sweep this into the corner. Pops high, Th0 maybe up, has a shot, and Atow will send it away. Acronik really needs to grab some possession here. Team Liquid had a good thing going. They're going to pop this above the net. Taco, I want to see a little bit more extended stay from one of these two teams. See a couple shots from one side and a quick transition, turnover of possession. I want to see if they can set up shop. Acronik with a big miss there. It's going to leave Atow in a tough position on defense. Th0 to the backboard. He's up. Puts it off target.
Yeah, it's a tough angle going from right to left across, and a back post double tap is always going to be a difficult read for really any level, but particularly beating out a pre-jumping defender. But as you mentioned, that extended pressure, Liquid was having a good extent about a minute ago. The problem is that the Mikeboy had one escape route to grab boost, and the moment they did, they were able to then recover and then really kick away that attack. It really is as dependent as your ability to keep these shots and rotate in as it is to steal your opponent's boost, because otherwise, if these guys have anything in the tank, they can make something happen. How about this one at 1 second? Th0 able to just get up. I thought that might have been the daylight they needed, but instead we're going to have to go to extra innings.
Overtime, game number 2, first series of the day. I was telling Bass yesterday, overtime Taco, it's my favorite time.
It's nice to see this get to the point where it's not free-flowing. People tend to get a little bit more constricted. You want to play fast, but you don't want to play reckless. You know how thin the margins of error are. Mikeboy knows them well. He wants to capitalize on them. Not going to touch that for Atow. And then maybe a little extension by Acronik. The foot race is there. The demo in the most clutch of circumstances to save a goal.
Mikeboy, the menace. The demo at the last moment. I thought there was no way he would win that race to the ball. I felt confident that Liquid was going to steal game 2 in that moment. Mikeboy coming up big with some physical aggression. He's going to take a shot just off the post and out. Though, looking to trap him in, but decides to back off. Grab his corner boost, reset the play. Pulls it up into an air dribble. Hopes for the ground pinch. Not much power. Acronik reads it well. Mikeboy into the corner. Now we see some patience exhibited by Atow. Up. Tries to go underneath one. Puts a 50-50 on the end of the challenge, but Mikeboy will be the first to it. Now Acronik back again from his own corner. The flip reset is on target. Crossbar and in. Acronik with a beautiful solo play will snag game number 2.
I was waiting for it to happen. They have so much a technical ability in the air. And then when you see that type of movement, you see the setup slowly coming in. You're thinking, how good is the flick going to be? Pixel perfect is the answer. Bar down. Really, unless you're pre-jumping that, no stopping that.
Wow. Look at some of these numbers. Th0 throwing up 10 shots, more than the entire opponent team. With that being said, got to put some more in than just 2. That's not going to be enough against a high-powered offense like Atow and Acronik. We see it on display throughout the game. You know, the thing that is so amazing to me, Taco, is they pull it up from their own backboard, right? They initiate the air dribble way back there, and sure, they have a full tank of boost. Okay, that's great. But how do they manage it so perfectly that they can travel the entire length of the field and still comfortably get underneath it to cradle a perfect reset and then slot it, crossbar and down? It is absolute perfection.
Yeah, it's really a flawless lesson in that resource management, but also just the position in which you're actually touching the ball. If you're touching it too high up in that mid area, you're going to push the ball way too forward. It's going to get away from you. And as you see Acronik go up for that, and really all these players, they're so good at knowing exactly where they need to hit it just to be able to pop it up. It buys them a little time. It allows them to float for a bit. And then obviously setting up that flip reset, that's a whole different skill level. This is thousands of hours of perfection. But then again, I don't know what else to expect from the Team Liquid Young Prodigies. I mean, they have put in a lot of work last splits, and I think we're going to continue seeing it both in this split and also in this tournament because they made their mark. We're at 1-1.
That's right, and if today is anything like yesterday, we're going to have some wild, wacky series. Hopefully we get us some more Game 7s, always full of fun. Acronik going to start us off with a ground pinch attempt. Mikeboy picks this up, opts for the low 50. So, lots of trajectory change on that air dribble. Swings out around it, tries to get it back on target. Mikeboy will snag that corner boost. Plenty in the tank here. 50-50 up high is going to provide Th0 an opportunity to the backboard. Th0 will keep it out for now. And he and Acronik will pinch it away. Th0 going to hold on to possession, but prioritize boost. I love how he played that. Atow, low boost, now having to defend and back up Acronik. Acronik with a great challenge. The air dribble bump, executed to perfection. Acronik puts one on the board for Team Liquid.
A mechanic some people call undefendable at a certain point. I think right around here, Th0 knew he was about to meet his doom. So well set up by Acronik, and also something that's always in the back pocket. That's why not just committing to the first decision that you come to in your brain, not just going for the air dribble double tap, not just going for a flip reset, but always keeping your options open. It makes the defenders hesitate, and when they do, that's when you can strike and score goals like that.
That's exactly right, and it's such a good point, especially when you're playing a team like Atow and Acronik. They have even if they're in the air, with an air dribble, they have 5 different extra options, right? They get the reset, they get a double reset, they reset and they fake it, they reset and they bring it down to the ground and catch it. They have the air dribble standard, they have the air dribble bump, they have all these different tools. And you're exactly right, you're trying to do an advanced math equation to figure out what exactly are they going to throw at me And it's just tough to manage. It's tough to defend. And then by the last moment, when you figure it out, it's too late. You're in position to be bumped. And there's not a whole lot you can do about it when Acronik is executing like that. With that being said, Liquid is back on the offensive side of things. Looking to work through this corner, though having none of it. Down the sideline, Atow blocks the initial shot. Acronik will pop it out to the corner. Atow provides one challenge. Acronik pops high. Atow takes a shot. Atow will send it out to a teammate, and the transition is on. Mikeboy with some space. 50-50 pop straight down. Th0 takes a shot. Atow will send it away.
Amount of time I've seen Atow been able to just swing out wide, say, oh, and then immediately swing back in, get a goal line save on a shot. Everything works so well there for Th0 and Mikeboy, just being able to get the 50, even take out a defender, but it seems like they just can't break through the wall, but maybe a second 50 is what the doctor ordered. What the power on the follow-through for our equalizer.
Th0, incredible first redirect, and we got to give some credit to Atow for keeping it out. Mikeboy there for the follow-up. All level once again, just over half the game played, 1-1. Mikeboy and Th0 doing a great job of absorbing this pressure on defense, staying under control, staying coordinated as a team, and then capitalizing when their opportunities do present themselves. Speaking of opportunities, Th0 just takes a pot shot towards the net, not even on target. Mikeboy, no boost, is going to have to retreat, pick up some pads. Atow not going to leave this ball. Just wants to hang around and continue to pester Th0. Acronik up to the backboard. Th0 in position to handle it. We'll bring it down to the ground to try to catch, but Atow quickly there for the challenge. Acronik. Nice tap over to the sidewall. Will maintain possession. Can he get this bump? He gets a pop instead. He will be demoed. Probably going to provide an opportunity for Mikeboy and Th0 to diffuse some of this pressure that they're taking on. Mikeboy finally gets a clear out into the midfield.
And touches like this, you can see the desperation on some of these teams is that you usually have that slow build up. You want to get it, dribble out for 50. You want to hit it high. You're trying to steal some boost. But other times, these teams are just looking at a glimpse and say, screw it. I'm just going to send it on goal, hope for the best. And I think that's good to keep the defense honest. It's so tempting to just go upfield and play aggro, but if you leave the goal too wide open, really form into a capitulation of really all your defensive structure. So making sure everyone is placed where they need to is important, and also giving the appropriate amount of space for that read. Acronik, good job to stop that flip reset. Now, how about Atow's not able to get one? We almost thought we saw the Arsenal reset into the Musty, but we're going to have to wait a little bit longer for that.
I want Atow to keep trying some of those things. Those are so much fun to see. So exciting to watch. Acronik up to the backboard. Atow, a soft shot. Acronik will keep the press alive. Did have to take it off target for now. He and Atow out of resources, going to have to back off. Maybe they won't have to back off. Atow continues to challenge. Almost sneaks one behind the defense of Mikeboy and Th0. Now Th0 with plenty in the tank. 10 seconds remain. Does put it down into the liquid corner, but Atow, 2v1 situation. The dribble cut down immediately by Mikeboy. 1 second left. Nothing on the clock. Straight to the ground, and we head to overtime yet again.
Incredibly close game. Even on the statistics, we're seeing 7 shots to 9 in the favor of Th0 and Mikeboy. And honestly, it's just a defensive battle. It seems like both these teams obviously have that coordination. Team Liquid getting a very stylish goal, whereas Th0 and Mikeboy just going through with brute force, capitalizing on some awkward rotations. And right now, I gotta applaud Th0 and Mikeboy, even with these weird touches getting thrown at them. They're really dealing with the pressure well. It's really just whether or not they can keep the resources. As we see a boost steal go through, the bump, Acronik trying to slow one down, but too slow. Where Th0, they're going to be able to tap that to the side and then maybe give one up again. Open shot potentially, but Acronik all the way back in his own corner. Possession flips hands yet again.
Uh-oh, the ADC executed once again to perfection. Mikeboy with the air dribble cringe. Beautiful stuff. They're going to take game number 3 and reclaim the lead in the series.
It's like watching a middle school play here. So much secondhand cringe I'm getting from the booth here. Just seeing all these players going for bums. But in all seriousness, I love being able to go and play the physical game because at a certain point, I legitimately feel like the reason we've seen the bump and demo meta, the physical meta emerge so much is because defense has gotten so absurdly good at all levels of play that at a certain point, you really just need to take a player off the field.
You're exactly right. It is tough to score. And while it is tough to defend, I do want to say it's tough to execute too. It's not easy to pull off the ADC, especially against players of this caliber. We see as the offense elevates, as the offensive meta continues to improve, so does the defense. We've seen them start to cover the backboard better, and now players are actually pretty good at getting around that bump, and a lot of times they're able to at least knock the player into the ball, maybe tap the ball just off target. But when executed well, which is difficult, always a tough time stopping the classic ADC.
I mean, that's the thing you always have to keep in the back of your mind, I feel like, when you're facing the air dribble. And you can almost see that in the defenders, that they're trying to go back as far as possible so that maybe the player lands before them or flies by them, and then they can get the save. But then you can almost see Acronik realize, like, halfway through, they just say, oh, no, I really tied my hands behind my back here. I don't know how I'm going to get that. And naturally, they do not. So a tough way to fall, but they're still in this. We're only on to game 4 into the beautiful Utopia Dusk to see if we're going to see, Mikeboy slowly pull away here, Hoodie.
We have seen back and forth so far. Mikeboy and Th0 take game number 1. Acronik and Atow respond immediately. We'll see if the trend continues. Game 4. Mikeboy and Th0 trying to apply some immediate pressure straight out of the gate. Atow having none of it. Such aggressive challenges. He does not like to pull back and play defense. Does not want to be in a shadows position. He wants to be in your face, making you feel that pressure. Big dunk from Mikeboy. It is popping in front of the net, but Th0 gonna be a bit too far away. With that said, they will keep the pressure on for now, or at least hold on to possession. Th0 with a nice challenge in the corner. Pops out wide for Mikeboy. Lofts one on target. Atow will handle it well. Catch it up on the backboard. The drop off to Acronik. The lead block play. Mikeboy in position. Sweep it out to the corner. Acronik once again in a 1v1 situation. Not fully an air dribble bump, but he does get a little tap on the end for good measure. Acronik will put Liquid up 1-0.
I always like plays like this, just slightly delaying the flick, just making sure they have a lay of the land, put a top corner, even with Th0 bending over backwards, almost literally on that over-the-shoulder save. They're able to get only so much of a touch, and that again just comes from being able to throw them off balance, and same on the kickoff. Atow being able to get 2 goals, and I think this is the first time I've seen Liquid with a 2-goal lead, really, so far in the series. Shows how close this has been all throughout.
And it looks like, obviously we have plenty of time left, but it looks like the trend may continue. Liquid out to a 2-0 lead early here in game number 4. So, gonna win the race to that challenge. Mikeboy not gonna have any boost to pursue the play. Atow able to get this air dribble underway with the lead blocker ahead of the play. The defense of Mikeboy and Th0 just a bit too strong. Atow just takes an immediate power shot on net. Th0 will keep it out for now. Mikeboy there for the follow-up. And Acronik, with the putback, will put in a 3rd goal for Team Liquid.
Oh, it's so brutal. You can see Mikeboy trying to get back, and they actually do play that perfect. They do get that first touch, but that's why you always need the second on the follow-through, and there's repeated shots. Eventually, you're going to have to flip into them. It's going to take you way out of your movement on your defense, and unfortunately, when you knock enough against a wall, it's going to turn into a battering ram, and you're just going to kind of plow right through. So we're seeing that close games throughout games 1 through 3 slowly evaporate here, as Team Liquid opening up our biggest lead so far, and it might even grow further, though. That's a dangerous place to take a 50, but they do it well. We won't see a 4th quite yet.
Acronik from the sidewall. He's attempted that a few times. I know he's landed it in RLCS as well. Love to see him get one before the tournament's over. Though, out wide, dispossessed by Acronik. Mikeboy's going to keep this on the blue end for now. He will need to do all the work by himself. does a good job. Th0 will spawn and put one near the net, but Acronik able to keep it out for now. Sends one down the right side. Acronik continuing to pursue. Funky looking play there, but it works out well. Will allow Atow to get a possession. A shot to the top shelf, blocked away by Mikeboy at the last moment. And we've got a little bit of a fight on this orange end. Not necessarily too much offensive pressure, but Th0 and Mikeboy struggling to hold on to possession and struggling to transition out of defense. Acronik and Atow have a wall built at the midfield line.
It's getting even tougher because I can even see that Mikeboy getting these corner boosts or Th0 getting these corner boosts, but then the ball doesn't roll up the wall. It bounces out, which forces about 30-40 boosts that they just picked up just to be able to recover, jump off, then push it forward to somewhere at least not useful, but at least not dangerous to their goal immediately. The thing is, all is about taking opportunities when they present. Good first save. How about the second? Mikeboy immediately throws a pot shot on. Acronik will forestall that. Back pass, too strong. I like the idea to keep things relevant, but not going to slide together seamlessly. These cogs in the Th0 and Mikeboy machine, as we see Atow just throwing caution to the wind. They're just throwing them all the way across their own half. Seems like they're fully in flow state right now.
Pace of play, speeding up. Th0, the ADC is here to stay. Th0's gonna put one in for he and Mikeboy. 1:12 left to play.
Really well done again, and Acronik does everything pretty well there. They know that ball is so low, but it's so intimidating. And this is why so many players back in the day when this got really, really popular in 1v1 before it transferred over into a lot more game modes, was that some players just called it unstoppable. Acronik is waiting for that. They have a lot of options. They go up the wall, they can try to go underneath it. They still have like 3 seconds, it seems like, to react to it, and yet it's still just so hard to get away from because not only are you adjusting, but so is Th0. They're gonna put their toe, I guess, right in your mouth. Getting kicked right in the face. Losing some teeth, but maybe not too much pride, as Team Liquid doesn't have too much to sweat about. They still have a 2-goal lead, and now it's on them to issue some clock management.
They've done good, well so far. Atow, a musty flick will put one towards the backboard. As you said, all they need to do, waste some time, manage this clock well. Acronik will pinch one off the backboard. Keep the ball in a safe place for now. Th0 and Atow. Aerial challenge will pinch away. Precious time. Ticking away. Th0 should put one in. Yeah, they're going to give themselves 7 seconds here. And I don't know if you caught this, but in the previous kickoff, we did see Th0 and Mikeboy execute a little bit of a fake Spanish version. We'll see what they have in store here. I know these players are looking to grab the win if they can. The aggressive cheat. Atow intelligently takes it back to his own corner. Th0 will pinch this down into the box. Mikeboy to the backboard. And Atow will be able to drop this to the ground. We do continue the trend of trading games. Atow and Acronik tie us up once more here in game number 4.
Outside of one game yesterday, every single game was at least 6. So I'm not too surprised in this, but I am continually surprised. And even when I feel like this game is going to be comfortable, I know exactly how it's going to wind up. I still see Liquid come out in the lead. I'm comfortable in their win. I feel like I can give in to the confident prediction and then Mikeboy march right back. If not for that touch being a little too hard, that might have actually been recoverable for a tying goal. But regardless, I think Th0 and Mikeboy realize how really aggressive Acronik and Atow can be. They started to implement that same strategy, but it seems like Acronik and Atow just early on found out that key to unlock that door on defense. And I think this is the first game where we've seen a comeback attempt that had to span multiple goals.
Yes, and I think Th0 and Mikeboy are going to have a tougher time with comebacks than the Atow and Acronik duo. And I think it is solely comes down to kind of the strategy that they're employing against this team. They are a little bit more willing to absorb some pressure. They are capitalizing on mistakes, capitalizing on over-aggression and whatnot, whereas Acronik and Atow are creating their chances. They are the ones putting Mikeboy and Th0 under pressure and generating opportunities, which works better if you fall behind. Th0 and Mikeboy, I think a little bit of a partial win condition would be to ensure that they don't go behind by multiple goals early on. or at the very least, begin cutting into that deficit with plenty of time left to remain. Game number 5. Does the trend continue? If so, Mikeboy and Th0 will finish this match and be on series point. We'll see how things unfold. 4:50 on the clock. Mikeboy and Th0 already off to some pressure to start game number 5.
We're not going to be seeing any of that. That's actually one mechanic I have not seen busted out in this tournament too much, is the ground double tap. I suppose if you believe the memers on Twitter, it's invented and owned by Spuda, but in reality, I think First Killer ended up really claiming that mechanic. Either way, it is so dangerous, but nothing is more dangerous than just the good old-fashioned sidewall challenge.
This is that speed and aggression that we've come to expect from this Team Liquid side. They just don't want to play defense. And to be frank with you, I don't blame them. I don't like playing defense either. And when you have the mechanics, the level that they have, I'm sure it's a lot of fun to play offense. These guys, whether they have the boost in the tank or not, they do not want to sit around and wait. Atow with a double flip reset will get it past one, but Th0 sees it, reads it well, clears to the other side. A back wall double tap from Acronik will land him a decent clear. Mikeboy pops high on the first touch, will turn over possession and peel back to defense. Atow slowly working down the field, threatening these air dribbles, threatening these flip resets, but opting not to use them. Acronik from the sidewall will be able to follow this up. Th0 in a precarious position on the goal line. Will handle it well and escape out to the sidewall. Atow is opting to hold on to possession here. Acronik attempting a pinch. Can Th0 get this underneath the crossbar? No, he can't. Will be sent into the corner. Mikeboy and Th0 are going to retain possession. Mikeboy once more up high. The lofty flick from the flip reset. Unfortunately, no support to be found. Atow once again threatening a flip reset. Ends up baiting out a double commit from the defense. Team Liquid looking to set up shop on offense. Th0 moves ahead of the play. And unfortunately, Mikeboy and Th0 have not been able to hold on to much possession this game, Taco.
No, not really. They've been trying to bait in the first challenge off the flip reset and being able to keep the ball close, as we see Th0 doing right here. Problem is, they're not able to actually move up and be in parallel with each other. You have one player kind of just being in the background, which only works when there is an opening, and right now they just can't get past that first challenge. And even if they do, as we saw earlier with Mikeboy, they just flick it way too wide. You got to keep things competitive. You got to make sure the defense is always guessing, kind of like this. Atow opting for a direct shot into the double tap flip reset, not going to get past the defense. But that's what happens when you give away kind of a runaway chance to the Team Liquid guys. Now, how does Mikeboy fare? Can't get the flick. Low 50, not going to work either.
I thought that may have been a good opportunity, but unfortunately it seems as though Mikeboy just did not have the resources in the tank to generate anything threatening off that 1v1 situation. Th0 in a similar situation here. You can tell by the frantic dodging that he doesn't have much boost to work with. Pass across, Acronik over to Atow. He's going to drop it back down to him. Atow with the shot. Just a bit wide and high. Th0 may be able to capitalize on this opportunity. Yes, he will. And Taco, we are all tied up yet again.
That's a tough one. I can't really blame them for taking that shot. The problem is it's so risky. I don't think Atow really communicated that, just being able to say, okay, I'm going to try to keep this on target. Maybe it's going to go just wide, but it's fine. But then right as they shoot that, both of them land in that far corner. If that goes bar down, that's one thing. If it goes bar out, then you really got a counterattack on your hands. A player in this tournament is going to miss an open net opportunity like that. So back to that 1-1 and back to that familiar vibe we see. But now see a little bit of an accident coming through the midfield line. Atow slows him down. Is that going to be enough? Near post banger is going to answer that with a big NO.
Wow, that's a beautiful full volley strike from Th0, top left corner. Acronik guessed correctly, but the shot was still too precise and too powerful. Th0 and Mikeboy take that 2-1 lead with 1:44 left to play.
That's a good opportunity, and I even like the attempt from Atow to be able to get the 50, or rather just a bump play to slow down the player, but even still, that just shows how dangerous demos can be. It really screws with all of your movement. If you don't guess correctly, pretty much off of the respawn, you can really pay the price. And Th0 trying to make sure they really feel that pain again. Atow, again, a goal line save. He's done that all series long, and a little more crucial in that, saving them from suffering indignity of that 2-goal lead, falling them as more demos coming through, but Duo teammates always there to pick them up.
Seeing a lot of physical aggression from Th0 and Mikeboy. Not so much on attack, but to provide some space for their teammate to work with. Mikeboy from the sidewall. Not a very good launch from the wall. Will follow it up. It's going to cost him a lot of the boost in his tank. Acronik will win the race to this one. Atow to the backboard. Can he get the follow-up? He does get a touch. Unfortunately, off the crossbar and out. Th0 there for the follow. Mikeboy with possession. Beaten to the challenge by Atow. 30 seconds remain. Acronik, the far post shot. He's there for the tap-in. Acronik ties us up with 30 left.
And this is an interesting form of the solo play, just being able to go up, try to get your angle right, get to the elevation you need, because it's not as simple as just flicking a shot. It's making sure the defender forces out a pre-jump, or at the very least shows their hand. And right now, Acronik has shown that that's a great way. If they get space near goal, they can certainly take it. And with 30 seconds remaining, it at least gets them on a level standing, but doesn't mean anything if you can't get back on defense. Atow a little bit careful to let that one bounce and send it over his teammate to maybe try for some late game heroics. Nothing on that air dribble, sent right back into the blue half.
Final 10 seconds. Ball's in the blue corner. Acronik looking to sneak out and push one down the sideline. Atow with a nice challenge. Mikeboy gonna have to put this on target. I think he does. Th0 almost there for the force in. But we will head to our third overtime of the series. Atow not wanting to peel off the ball. Does eventually move back to the corner. Picks up the boost. A couple of nice challenges in the corner will provide Acronik with the opportunity. The musty flick. Not as much power as he would have liked to generate, but it will require a save from Mikeboy. Th0 with the flick. Immediately picked up by Atow. Acronik has to get back quickly. Th0 almost reads it. Mikeboy there for the pop in, and Mikeboy top left corner. Mikeboy and Th0 continue the trend, and they will be on match point.
Honestly, I would love to be able to talk to these players and figure out what the intention there was from Th0. It looked like they were just trying to challenge for a 50, but they got to it late enough that they were able to tag the back bumper of Acronik, getting a demo, being able to open up that overtime victory. Very well done. Puts them on match point, no less. And we're seeing the bumps really the key factor for a lot of these teams. And even when the ball is going over your shoulder and you have a simple tap to the corner, you need to make sure that is 100% quality, because as soon as that demo went in, all it took was a sliver of a chance in that near post twice now for Th0 and Mikeboy to capitalize.
I think it's almost like Pokemon super effective against this Acronik and Atow team, because they are so fast, right? And you mentioned it when you were talking about it in game. That demo just really takes you out of your groove. It takes your team out of that rotation that you have kind of just gotten comfortable with. And most importantly, drains these players of their boost, knocks them back down to 30. And it's a lot tougher for Acronik and Atow to execute their preferred game style when they are constantly being demoed and taken off the pitch for a few seconds. We have to give credit to a few of the plays from Mikeboy and Th0. That strike that we saw, full volley from Th0, well placed, well struck. They definitely are earning these victories. Atow and Acronik not going away quietly.
No, not at all. And I think coming into this, as we see, I believe actually Atow actually left the lobby, maybe to change up the cars, because as we all know, when you suffer a really brutal, psychologically damning loss, the only thing that can fix it is a prettier car.
It's so true, though. We can all relate. When you're having a tough time, you switch that car up and you're fully reset and ready to roll. With that being said, is it going to be enough for Liquid to stay alive? Atow with a miss already 15 seconds into game number 1, but no punishment just yet. Th0 will pop one off the side of the backboard, and Atow sneaks forward, thinking Acronik will be the first to it, but actually Th0 is. And that's going to be a free net to look at. Th0 going to put one in inside the first 30 seconds.
Oh, that's so rough. Atow, you can see them slowly want to migrate to the far side to get that corner boost, because they're thinking, Acronik, did you call that? Do you have that? I think it should be fine. I don't know if there's really any danger here. And while they're thinking all that, I think the side of Th0 and Mikeboy are just concerned on putting that one between the sticks. Good basic goal, but slight miscommunication, it seems like, from the TL duo. Acronik trying to strike right back. You can't place them much better than that.
Wow. We are seeing some absolutely beautiful striking today. Acronik recognizing Th0 stepping a little bit too close, finds that bottom right corner. A laser ties us up once again. Inside the first 60 seconds, we've already got 2 goals. I think we're going to see both of these teams kind of throwing caution to the wind. Mikeboy and Th0 definitely do not want to go to Game 7. They want to finish this right now, but Acronik and Atow have a different idea in mind. Already reclaiming the lead once again.
Yeah, these challenges are so crucial, and off kickoff, you have even more of an opportunity to really damage down on a team with a quality challenge. And off that sidewall, just ball chasing more or less, but they know if that does continue to go forward, bounce into the middle, your defenders that you're facing off against are really only going to have about 20, 30 boosts, especially on a cheetah. But the goals are going to keep on raining here on this rainy Neo Tokyo Stadium. Another bold challenge leading the way to a goal.
All right. 4 goals per 60 seconds. Do you think we can keep the current pace?
I feel like the server will crash before we see that one, but at least we will see an interesting bounce off kickoff. Nothing doing on that one, though. Just going to try for double tap. Acronik says no to that one. So I think we'll have to see a slowdown eventually because these players will have to at least slow down. You'd have to think. Atow, no double tap. Acronik with a little bit of a fake out on the near post. So we will see at least another goal, and it only took, I would say, about 13 seconds.
Maybe they heard it and they said, actually, we want to increase the pace. We'll see what they can do. 3:50 on the clock, 5 goals already. Acronik and Atow with the most recent. They do have a 3-2 lead. Mikeboy looking to put one more in. Atow at the last moment with a diving save. We'll keep it out for now. Th0 challenged by Acronik in the midfield. We'll provide Atow with an opportunity. Pops it with some power to the backboard. Th0 will catch it. With no issues, we'll send it to the sidewall. Mikeboy pops high. Acronik will have to back off. Th0, plenty of boost in the tank. Looking to get a secondary touch, but Atow stuffs it immediately. Mikeboy not going to play it quick enough to get it past Acronik. But they will continue the press for now. Atow with a perfect read. I'll be honest, that surprised me. I didn't know where the ball was going, but Atow keen to it. Keeps the scoreline at 3-2, and it does seem as though we have slowed down a little bit. Th0 with a wave dash pop at the last moment, looking to take the defense off guard. Acronik pop across the net. Atow there for the follow. Th0, little team bump will accelerate the play quickly, and Acronik deflects one to the corner to keep it out.
Yeah, at this point, you can see Team Liquid just trying to throw that one high, get some boost, but even still, the touches are quality, and one Team Liquid's trying to throw it high and make sure the defense takes the touch seriously. They're not able to get the boost steal, I think, is what their goal is. However, Th0 and Mikeboy still continuing those downfield passes. Can they get the follow-up? That's going to be a reacher from Acronik. They'll do more than enough to keep that one and get a catch and flick. I don't know how you manage that one, and Mikeboy doesn't either. They barely get that touch. They do not get the follow-through. How can you read one and not the other? It's just coming right back at you too quick.
That was the most unique turtle flick that I have ever seen, and I'm so glad it ended up working out. Just because I wanted to see it one more time. It honestly looked like a failed flip reset, but we're going to give credit to him. Acronik, the most unique assist of the tournament. And Atow is going to put a 4th one in for Liquid. 2 minutes left to play. They do have their work cut out for them to hold on to this lead. Mikeboy and Th0 looking to press once again. Mikeboy. The catch, the flick over one. Atow with 0 boost is able to tap this to the corner. Acronik picks up the full tank and gets demoed immediately. Atow once again, low boost. Stepping up big time on the goal line defense. Mikeboy pops high. Th0 there for the challenge, but Atow positioned well. Mikeboy yet again. The catch, tries to drop it off to a teammate, but Atow having none of it. Looking for a turtle flick of his own. Maybe this is the strategy that they've called out in comms. Acronik pops past one. Th0, with the transition, will roll one down the sidewall. Team Liquid will hold on to possession for now. Acronik off the ceiling. He has his dodge. The flick. Atow there for the last second redirect, but pulls it off target. Mikeboy out to his teammate. Th0 for the redirect, and Th0 will put it in. Acronik had no chance, and we're back within 1.
It seems like Team Liquid, they're opting for the high risk, high reward on that one. I like the idea. Acronik setting up off the ceiling, gets a Musty on target, and then you see Atow try to peek that under the far post. They pre-flip for it. It knocks it wide, but then both of them really just split to the far ends of the pitch to get boost, not anticipating that there's going to be an immediate counter thrown on target. I think Th0 was just kind of tapping it in for good measure, but either way, that was in on a pure counter on a risk that I don't know if TL needed to take, and now they have to have the nervy situation of playing with a 1-goal lead with under a minute to go. It seems like it's going to keep throwing things forward and continuing on with that strategy of trying to steal as much boost as possible. Atow is going to get another one and maybe get rewarded for it right out to him, but right into Th0 for the save and a pinch down, send TL back to their half.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think sometimes there are moments in the game where you don't need to be super aggressive and you may want to prioritize defense, but I don't think that is the Liquid, this specific iteration of the Liquid 2's team. I don't think that is their preferred strategy. They want to play, they want to go ball chase, let's get it, pick up the speed. And so far it's worked out here. While Mikeboy and Th0 were able to bring it back within 1. Acronik and Atow will take us to Game 7, and the trend continues. Will they break it in Game 7? Or will Mikeboy and Th0 take the victory?
It's really my favorite aspect of these games, or really my favorite flavor of best of sevens, where it's not just a comeback attempt, it's just a pendulum swinging back and forth, wondering how far it's going to swing before you can try to get some consistency together. We've really seen very little teams really try to dominate these matches. They've all been close, even this one technically ending on a 1-goal margin. So this Game 7 certainly shaping up to be a banger, as both these teams really implementing a beautiful blend of strategy and then just, I don't care, full send into the full mechanics.
And Taco, I think Game 7 is going to be an even more severe display of the I don't care full send. I think these players have had enough of the caution. They are both looking at match point. They are both looking at tournament elimination. And we will go ahead and mention this. Top 2 will be the only 2 teams that will be rewarded with the cash prize. So the winner of this is securing some money for participating. Obviously, these players looking to take home a little bit of a cash prize. And it all rides on this Game 7.
And being able to get that cash prize, of course, is the key motivator. But also, this, as I mentioned, is a kind of an inadvertent way for Th0 and Mikeboy to get themselves a bit more known. I think everyone watching EU will recognize the names, but I think they're also competing with a lot of other talent. I think in this tournament, I've been really impressed. Th0 and Mikeboy look really solid together. I love the coordination that they're showing, and they're putting up a great fight. The thing is that they also have to deal with just the craziness of the TL guys. They play 3s just like they play 2s. They're just all over the place. They do not care about throwing themselves into a challenge, being a little reckless, stealing all your boost, and it definitely leads to a lot of success, but it doesn't mean anything, or anything rather, if the next 5 minutes don't go their way. Champions Field, Game 7 for our first series of the day. Love to see it.
Who has the ice? The first semifinal of the Hoodyhooo 2v2s on the EU servers underway into game number 7. And immediately Mikeboy and Th0 straight away from kickoff. They will apply a little bit of pressure. Mikeboy up high. Can he read the bounce? No. Th0 will keep it alive for now. They need to be careful here. Acronik didn't have the boost to counterattack. Will peel back, pick up his corner, but immediately provide a challenge. Get a second touch as well. Almost catches Mikeboy off guard. Atow waiting up high. Mikeboy with the delay. We'll have him hesitating and misstepping. Th0 with an early aggressive challenge as well. Obviously a little bit different look here than the previous. We don't have 5 goals in the first 50 seconds here, Taco.
No, not quite. I think that you have a kind of a spurt of those, along with all these shots. Acronik bringing out the long-range rifle for all these shots. They're getting such good touches around the goal. They've been really thwarted with some goal line heroics, but certainly something to keep in mind is that they've been really interesting around the near side of the goals, putting in some interesting efforts. Same with that one from Th0. I don't think they anticipated that coming to them as quickly as it did. Thought they might have a shot. They opted for the high touch, and that one will go by the wayside. Atow getting a beat past everybody, and that's going to be a walk-in for number 1.
Well, well, well. Liquid looking to break the trend finally. A great play from Atow. Just incredible ball control through the corner, along the wall, getting the flick out past the last defender. And as you said, that's a walk-in. He's going to score that 100 times out of 100. Liquid up early here in Game 7.
Mikeboy just opting for a quick shot. I don't really mind that one, but especially off kickoff, you don't have a lot of resources. You might as well just throw it and let the defense handle it. But I think as we're seeing these kickoffs start to go into really that null difference, I think that's going to be the case where it's going to be truly based on what happens during the run of play. Great goal line save. Do you have another one in you? Atow, the slow play, the double tap off of the far post and in.
Oh my! The precision from Atow. Pops it to the near post side. Gets the read. Both defenders in net. Taco, they had probably 70, 80% of the potential options covered up there, and Atow still finds a place to slot that.
It feels like you covered exactly where you need to be. You're on the near post, and right now you're not in goal because you're just trying to get those pads on the way back. Little kickoff shenanigans coming through, and it looks like Liquid, for another game, is opening up quite the sizable lead. Took them a little bit longer to get here, but they're certainly enjoying it. They just have to last another 3 minutes. They're on to our grand finals.
I said it a game or two ago. I am worried about Th0 and Mikeboy and their potential to make these comebacks. Hopefully this is not a fourth. Atow not able to get that inside the frame. Atow. Taco, I've had so much trouble with these names. Yesterday with Oski and Archie. Today with Atow and Acronik and Th0. I have had so many issues trying to keep this straight. Almost as many issues as Mikeboy and Th0 have had keeping out the Liquid team. They're going to put in a fourth inside the final 3 minutes.
You can almost see the body language of Acronik as they get that challenge. It's a simple double jump, just try, no rotation on the car, just getting a 50, and then they're saying, oh, perfect, I got the 50. Oh, even better, it lands on my bumper as I land and just a roller in. So can't ask for much more than that. And to be honest, Acronik and Atow really showing what they're made of in this game. They're not really showing any generosity on defense. Even on this one, they're challenging quickly and forcing the giveaway, and now here they go on their horse again. Th0 quickly challenging. I think they're realizing by now, Th0 and Mikeboy, that they need to really start to ramp things up. I think at times we've seen them play a little bit more patient, but I think that time for patience is very quickly dwindling.
2 minutes remain at Th0 and Acronik. Definitely not a team that's going to sit back, wait, and milk the clock too much. They will hold on to possession, but they're going to continue that pressure, continue that aggression. Acronik is going to follow this to the ground. Attack a 50-50 on the end of the air dribble. Absolutely trip up Mikeboy, and Atow, the low altitude air dribble is going to pop a flip reset at the end just for the style points. 5-0 Team Liquid.
And that's just quality 50s, and obviously not going to miss those open nets, but this also kind of happens when you start falling behind. You have to really take that consideration, those scales in opposition to each other. Do you play a bit more stable and try to eke out goal after goal, or do you turn on the aggression knowing that it might result in some giveaways? It's a tough equation, and I think everyone tries to solve it differently, but right now, it seems like Th0 and Mikeboy are just trying to find anything to be able to get their first step on this very long and hopefully for them, very brisk journey of a comeback. But right now, it just seems like no one can touch the TL guys. Acronik and Atow still looking for more goals as you try the recovery to put that back in the middle. But Acronik just going to take that one back and earn some more precious seconds off the clock. That demo maybe open up one. Acronik on the sidewall, not going to get the touch, but the accuracy not there. Mikeboy, fortunately, on the half rotation, gets one back, and at least there's one to hang your hat on.
They still have life. It's obviously going to be a tough journey, but they still have life. Th0 and Mikeboy, they do put one in. They give themselves 1 minute and 11 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction here. We're going to see some sort of kickoff strategies deployed here. Mikeboy, an aggressive push forward. Not going to result in anything. Acronik actually will dribble this back to his own side. Hold on to possession, pick up his corner boost. Let the clock do all the work at the moment. Mikeboy eventually able to provide a challenge. Acronik with a lead block. Atow looks for the fancy flick, but shut down by Th0. 45 seconds remain. Mikeboy, the flip reset, it is on target. Atow in position to send it away. Th0, the pinch back towards the blue side. Acronik will be there. lifts it up into an air dribble. And Taco with 30 seconds left, and the way this game has transpired, I don't see Mikeboy and Th0 generating enough pressure, generating enough opportunities. 20 seconds left. We need an absolute miracle. And they're not even going to get one. Taco, that's going to do it. The series goes to Team Liquid. It was a tough-fought battle. They finally break the trend, get 2 games in a row, and Liquid will be moving on to the grand finals.
Yeah, Th0 Mikeboy, I mean, they knew it, I think, a while back, but at least for right now, GG's all across the chat. They understand that Team Liquid, they just slowly wore them down. It felt like it was always going to be kind of a knockout, drag-out brawl, but like most brawls, you get a little tired, legs get a little weak, and then inevitably you're going to tumble on down. And it's like Team Liquid just had it in the bag in Game 7. They had control, and they never really let go. They are our first grand finalists here, or your 2v2, presented by Thrustmaster.